Hello everyone and welcome back to Wander Freely. I am actually sick. Turns out that for the first time while we've been living on the RV, I am actually sick. So I wanted to share with you what I'm doing. Nothing that I say today is meant to give you any sort of medical advice. I am not here to try to give you information to treat, diagnose, or cure any sort of illness. I am just sharing with you what I do. If you have any concerns, you should seek the advice of an actual medical doctor. I have a cold, and that's all that I have right now is just a cold, a lot of congestion. I woke up with it yesterday morning at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and now I'm in day 2, and actually I'm already feeling so much better, but I know that is part of that reason is just because I've been really taking good care of myself. So let's get into some of the things that I like to do when I have a cold so that I can help to support my body. You are actually going to find out what I use to spray on my toothbrush when I'm sick. Now that I've totally piqued your interest, let's get started. The very first thing that I like to do is make sure that I increase my liquid intake. This helps to keep me hydrated while also just really flushing my system. To make sure I drink a lot, I like to add a little bit of flavor to mine, sometimes some lemon, some lime, or I will even have warm water with maybe 1 drop of Thieves in it. I only ever use Young Living's Vitality line for internal use. I also occasionally like to have a warm cup of tea. In this case, I was using throat coat, even though my throat really isn't sore. I just like the fact that if you look at the ingredients, the licorice and the marshmallow root, some of those things are also very nice on and soothing on your digestive system as well as your throat. So I've really been enjoying this one. It also has a naturally sweet flavor with that licorice in it, so I don't have to add sweetener to it. If I do add sweetener, I only ever use like 1 drop of stevia. Another little trick I like to use is to allow myself to be able to breathe in something that's soothing. So I will take some heated water in a glass, put just 1 drop of peppermint essential oil in it, and then I will slowly bring that in front of my nose, breathe in just a little bit through my nose, and then I'll pull that steam away and continue to breathe in and then slowly release that. And that's really soothing to me. I do have to be careful though because peppermint is a very strong oil, so I make sure to close my eyes and I only breathe in so much of it so that I don't overwhelm my system. After it cools down, I will actually just sip on that water. Part of my everyday routine is to make sure that I oil pull, which you can read how and why I do it in the link above, but I especially like to do it when I have any sort of congestion because for me it really helps to draw some of that out, especially in the morning. This morning I decided to add 1 drop of Thieves as a bonus to my normal oil pulling routine. Now I just take that in and gently swish it around my mouth between my teeth for about 20 minutes. During that time, I'm going to make Chris and I breakfast. He is going to have some oatmeal, and I am going to have one of my favorite things in the whole world, and that is just regular old chicken noodle soup. Yes, I have no problem eating it for breakfast, and no, I do not think that's weird. If I'm sick, I also like to make sure I'm getting a lot of fresh fruits and veggies, but sometimes, let's be honest, they just don't taste that great when you don't really feel well, but chicken noodle soup is always a winner. I avoid dairy. I even do that on a regular basis, but I especially do it during times of sickness because it is the most mucus forming substance that you can eat. I also avoid sugar and any kind of like really refined carbs because they also can feed any pathogens that you have going on. In this case, my soup is made with rice noodles. And I eat it to the very last drop. Another thing that I've always loved to do is actually, like, as soon as I get sick, I like to wash my sheets. I think I started it as a kid. I think it was more of just like a comfort thing because I love clean sheets. So I know that, but it like grew from there because then I started to feel like, you know, not only would I do my own sheets, but if anybody in my household, my mom would totally laugh about this, but if anybody in my household was sick, I'd run and grab the sheets off of their bed and wash them for them. So that's something that I always like to do. Even if you can't, in the RV it's a lot harder because, you know, we can only do like a half a load. So even if I can't get to all my sheets, or if you have to go to work or those types of things, I will at the very least wash my pillowcases, and I usually do that right away, and then once I start to feel better, I do it again. Ooh, let's get back to the toothbrushes. I will actually spray my toothbrush and Chris's toothbrush with some hydrogen peroxide. Just a quick spray and then I'm done. Plenty of rest is also a huge key. I like to run my diffuser at nighttime just to make sure that I'm getting some extra comfort. I will put a blend like Thieves in it, or sometimes peppermint, or just rosemary, whatever I'm feeling like that night. Eucalyptus is another great one, or I will also use a blend that has eucalyptus or similar oils in it, like Raven or RC. The challenge with being in the RV is that Chris and I are in very confined spaces together. So I try to do my best to make sure that I'm keeping some of the air clean for him and I'm not totally just spreading my germs on him. And in order to do that, we do use the diffuser a lot. Right now I have a blend called Purification going. My diffuser is getting a ton of use right now, and all it takes is a few drops of essential oil along with some distilled water. I also like to use some essential oils topically as well, and in order to do that, as long as Chris is around, there he is working, I will have him put the oils, just a couple drops, right down my spine. Some of the oils that I like to use are rosemary, lemon, the Thieves blend, and oregano. And oregano is what's considered a very spicy hot oil, so you definitely want to dilute that. The other ones I would just follow the instructions on the label. I like to mix it up. I don't always just use the same one over and over. I like to change things, and maybe in the morning I'll use lemon, and then around lunchtime I'll use rosemary, and then later in the day I'll use Thieves. That way I can support my overall wellness too. That just about does it. I hope that you all are staying well in this new year. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh yeah, and share in the comments below some of the things that you like to do.